These testimonials are representative of my or our experiences, but the exact results and experience will be unique and individual to each person. The information provided herein is not medical advice and is not intended to substitute for the advice of your personal physician or other healthcare providers. Welcome to The Beautiful Bag. This is your host, LeeAnne Hayden, cancer survivor, and more importantly, ostomy lifer. Each and every week, I'm going to be bringing a special guest or some inspiration for you and a few little stories along the way so that you can learn what life is like for us to be living in an ostomy and why we all think it's a beautiful bag. So listen in and let's get started. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Beautiful Bag podcast. I am your host, LeeAnne Hayden, and today I'm going to talk to you about an incredibly important and personal story that I have to share. Okay, we're going to dive into the world of breast implant illness, the journey of self-discovery, and the transformative decision to have my implants removed just 4 days ago. Okay. I know this podcast is about, living life in an ostomy, but because of some things that I found out, I figured it was very, very important for me to get on here and share this episode. Again, surgery was just 4 days ago. By the time you listen to maybe 6, it happened on Friday, and I'm already feeling amazing. So get ready for a heartfelt and enlightened conversation as we explore the triumphs, challenges, and moments of empowerment that have shaped this new chapter in my life. All right, so let's dig into it. Picture this, right? A few years ago, I found myself facing a puzzling array of symptoms: fatigue, joint pain, brain fog, dizziness, blurred vision, headaches. When I say joint pain, I'm talking right into where it felt like my bones hurt. Like it truly sometimes was hard to get out of bed, and I couldn't figure out what in the world was going on with me. And it had been going on like that for years. I've had my breast implants since February of 2011 is when I got them. So a little over 12 years ago. And I got them because, as you guys know, I used to do fitness competitions, and I got really small, and I figured, little did I know, I always thought I would be that tiny, right? So, so I figured I just wanted to fill them back up. So I went and got the implants to fill them back up, to feel really good in my own body. And, in the beginning, it was good, except that I did notice about myself, I was a little more conscious about my cleavage, because I had never really had cleavage before. Now all of a sudden I did, and I'm like, are people looking at my face, or are they looking at my boobs? But that aside, things started happening. I started gaining 5 pounds at a time every 6 months, and it even led to, and again, I don't know if the implants are what led to me and my cancer. Sarcoma cancer is now on the list of symptoms. I'm not going to go down that route, but it could have been because, again, they're these toxic bags, right? So all these symptoms I had, and it felt like I was constantly battling an invisible force within my body, like constantly. And so it took some time, research, and a lot of soul searching, but I finally discovered that these symptoms were linked to something called breast implant illness. There is a Facebook group now, about 180,000 women in there, talking about the symptoms that they're having with breast implant illness, with their implants, and they're wondering, some people are rashes, and some people have autoimmune issues now because of it. And again, I'm talking to you guys about this in this podcast, in this episode, just in case of someone who may be, having some symptoms and they don't really know what's going on, or they do have implants and they're confused, right? Because a lot of doctors and a lot of people aren't talking about this. A lot of people are starting to talk about this more, which I feel is very, very important, right? So breast implant illness refers to a range of symptoms that some individuals experience after getting breast implants. These symptoms can vary from person to person, but they may include chronic fatigue, muscle and joint pain, like I just mentioned, cognitive issues, and even autoimmune disorders. It's a condition that many of us were unaware of when we made the decision to enhance our appearance through these implants, right? We had no idea. So coming to terms with the reality of breast implant illness wasn't easy. It really wasn't. It did take a lot of searching, right? It required deep introspect and extensive research. I mean, I sat here on my computer researching everything, and then I started saying, am I putting this in my head, or is this all real? Right? I was confused for myself, right? It also consisted of difficult conversations with medical professionals. Some doctors believe in it, some doctors don't. I got to the point where my oncologist told me, like 3.5 years ago, is when I really started doing my research, and I was trying to truly figure out what is wrong with me. That's when I found the Facebook group. That's when some of my other friends started talking about it. They started taking them out and feeling amazing right after, right? So I needed to educate myself about the potential risks. I listened to their stories. I listened to other stories who had similar struggles, right? So I knew I had to take action for my own well-being. And so 3.5 years ago, I had gone to the original surgeon, the plastic surgeon who I had my implants with. And I truly, I appreciate him a lot. And, he told me that he could do it. He gave me a price, which was well out of the range of what I could afford at, 3.5 years ago, what I could afford, or even what I was willing to pay for it. Right. So then COVID hit. So then everything got put on hold. And then I started talking with my oncologist, and she suggested that I do get them out because she's been hearing more and more about BII, right? So I went to 2 different plastic surgeons. One she recommended, who was in New York City, and that woman completely said, you have all the symptoms of BII, of breast implant illness. She gave me a price, but she said, I'm not an expert at removal. And one of the things that I have researched and I have found is that when you go to a plastic surgeon, you want to have a plastic surgeon that is highly recommended in the removal of the implants, and not just the implants, the total capsulectomy, right? They call it an end block, a total capsulectomy of all the tissue that your body has created around these toxic bags that are in your body. So your body does that. We don't know this. They don't talk about it, but these bags that we're putting in, right? Implants, they're toxins, right? You put them in your body, and your body takes its tissue, so these don't belong, and builds a tissue around it. And that tissue around it kind of holds everything in place, right? Kind of holds these toxins in place. But also things start to leach out, right? Guys, some of the symptoms, like I said, aside from brain fog and this, I would taste metal in my mouth. I always had this constant taste of metal, and it's not my fillings, it's nothing like that. It was just this constant in my throat, right? So I knew it was time to take actions. And so, my friends, I made the courageous decision to have my breast implants removed. It was a journey that took me through moments of uncertainty, fear, and doubt, right? As I was like, okay, I'm going to make this decision. But ultimately, I found the strength in knowing that I was taking control of my health, reclaiming my body, and embracing my own authenticity. So I found a plastic surgeon. He becomes highly recommended in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. He believes in breast implant illness. He does total capsulectomy. He's right here where I'm at home. I don't have to drive into New York City. I can recover right here at my house. So literally 4 days ago, last Friday, I walked into that surgical center, right? I was filled with a mix of nerves and excitement, right? Because I knew what the potential was. And I felt like the weeks prior coming up to this, my body was saying, ha, ha, ha. All right. It's almost like these implants were talking to each other. Like, she's getting rid of us. Let's make her feel even worse. Because I'll tell you, I was napping every day, which I don't normally do. And you guys know this about me, right? I was napping every day. I was getting severe headaches. I couldn't keep myself hydrated. It was just that taste was always there, and my eyes burned, and they were so dry, and they burned so bad, right? I mean, the journey to reach the point of explant wasn't easy, but I knew it was necessary, especially for my physical and emotional well-being. So the surgery itself was just the beginning, a symbolic step towards a life of self-discovery, right? So, and a profound reconnection with my true self. It's funny because I look at myself in the mirror. I mean, 4 days ago, and you know, I'm all in my wrap. I haven't seen what they look like yet. I have drains, right? Because they put drains in to make sure that you get all the fluids out of your body. So the drains are coming out on Thursday. But guys, from I woke up from surgery. Like I get in there, I get all set. I'm in surgery, take my deep breath, know I'm going to sleep. And they went to wake me up and they're like, LeeAnne, and I remember taking this full deep breath and sitting up at the same time. And they're like, no, 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 no. You're right. So I laid back down and I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, I took a full deep breath. I didn't realize how much taking a deep breath when I had implants, how I couldn't get that full breath into my lungs. I had no idea. So I remember taking that full deep breath. I'm going to tell you, it hurt, right? There is pain. It feels like more of a burning sensation after surgery. So I did take pain meds for 24 hours, just 24 hours. And, but I'll tell the things that I've noticed so far right out of the gate, the whites of my eyes are white because they were sore and swollen and red. I posted a picture on Facebook the other day, an hour before surgery and then 2 hours after surgery. And the whites of my eyes are so white. I could take that deep breath over the last 4 days. The headaches have been gone. I haven't had a moment of that joint and muscle pain. I haven't had a single moment. The taste of metal is gone from, I'm like, the taste of metal really is. It's gone out of my throat. I don't have that taste anymore. I haven't had a headache. I haven't, I felt tired, of course, but I just had major surgery. So there's that. But those are just some of the initial things that I noticed so far. So I am going to keep filling everybody in as the weeks and months go by over time, with just how much better I feel, because I already know that this was unreal. This was such an experience, and it was such an eye-opening experience of insecurity of myself years ago, right? So not wanting to always just have, wanting to have implants, wanting them for physical reasons, but then watching my health decline. I did get the implants back from the doctor, so I have them here. I can look at them. I have them right in front of me. And my husband, John, he looked at me and he looked at the implants and he pointed them. He goes, "I swear those are what gave you cancer." Like that's he associates these implants now with why I went through that whole entire cancer scenario. And that's his true belief. And let me tell you, when I first started doing my research 4 years ago, he was looking at me like I was crazy. He's like, "No way, LeeAnne. Like, there's just no way. Doctors wouldn't put those in your body if that was the case, blah, blah, blah." But after all the research, and he's been looking into things himself, that's his feeling. He really truly feels that that's what's happened to me. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble a bit about it. However, this journey isn't about me, right? It's about raising awareness and supporting others who may be grappling with similar challenges. Now, if you suspect that you may be experiencing symptoms related to breast implant illness, or someone who has, I encourage you to seek information. Find the Facebook group. It's called Breast Implant Illness and Healing with Nicole. There's 180,000 members in there. I'll link it here in the show notes so that you can find it yourself, or call me, reach out to me and ask me, and I can add you to the group as well, right? Consult with medical professionals. Breast implant, the Facebook group, Nicole also has a website, Breast Implant Illness and Healing, right? She has a website as well. And on that website, she has listed all recommended doctors that know how to do explant surgery, total capsulectomy surgery, explicitly. She has a list there, so you can make the right choice for you for a medical doctor, right? And connect with the communities that can provide you support and guidance. Remember, my friends, you're not alone, right? I say this all the time when I talk about us in our ostomies. This is just, like I said, a little bit different of a scenario. You're not alone. There are countless individuals who have walked this path and before and are ready to offer their understanding and encouragement. Together, we can break the silence, challenge the status quo, and create a world where health and well-being and authenticity are valued above all. It's really, truly the path and the vision that I have for us, for all of us, my ostomy friends, my friends. It is the path that I have for all of us to really, truly, authentically be ourselves, to live a life full out, to to just be human, be healthy, and take care of ourselves, right? Be our own advocates in all the things that we do. So thank you again for joining me on this heartfelt episode on the beautiful bag. As we continue to explore this transformational journey, let's empower one another, right? Let's celebrate our unique stories, advocate for a future where our choices align with our well-being and authenticity, right? Well, until next time, my friends, keep embracing who you are and living a life on your own terms. I truly appreciate you. I love you all so much. If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, share on social media, tag me in your shares. Like I always say, tag me in your shares. I will reshare it online. Let's start building a community of caring, loving, kind people, right? And I know we can do this together. So thank you again for joining in, and I will chat with you again next week.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, get the behind the scenes at LeeAnneHayden.com/ostomy updates. And also, if you found this episode encouraging, please screenshot it and share it on Instagram. And don't forget to tag me and also the person who was on the episode with me. I occasionally will do special gifts for anyone who does do a screenshot and share it on Instagram or in your stories. Also, lastly, please go to Apple or Google, rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to keep up with them every single week. I enjoy you guys. Thank you so much for being here.